respect to the plan that I have mentioned, that I would actually be the one who would drag Russia into the war, into the race war with him, he highly praised Israel and tried to brainwash me with the idea. He said, well, you see, they don't fucking like us in Russia. They don't like us in America. What about we're going to have to run to Israel? So he was very, very much impressed with Netanyahu, with the Israel, in bed with Israel, with one leg inside of the Israel already. So having the military general individual like this at the top position, this is like the biggest mistake for the country's sovereignty and for other nations as well, because the way he had presented himself in this country, and I bet it was no different in Poland, and I bet it was no different in Ukraine, and in other areas, the conflicting individual like this, you have no fucking idea what kind of perception individual like this creates in local people. So the perceptions the Russians have created in these countries is basically what we see is taking place today in Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, and so on. You come, you insult people, and sure enough, Americans are there present with a divide and conquer game. They continue to remind and just split us and so on. So with this kind of politics that Russia has today, it will be preliminary importance for Slavic people that are not inside of the Russia to establish their own security, because you see, our security, our safety, our sovereignty cannot be conditioned under any circumstances by some kind of politics like this. We're going to have to establish our own security so we can be independent, so we can make our own independent decisions. We're not going to be pushed in the hands of, choose in between the Western neo-Nazism, or obviously what is even neo-Nazism today in Russia. So we don't want, this kind of politics. We don't want to be treated like this. We don't want to be, we don't want our freedom to be conditioned like this. This isn't the way it works. We are Slavs, and we have to find our way to secure, to assure ourselves of our existence. If this isn't bad enough for somebody that is that have claimed, depicted himself to be a victim of domestic abuse, and in fact is an abuser, heavy-duty abuser, criminal, thug. Oh yeah, he boasted also how he fucked many Russians that he didn't like, how he managed to fuck them because of his position. Then at the end, he desperately tried to portray me to Russians that was in Russia as me being traitor. And what he did was he wore American shirt, army shirt, and he said, don't worry about this, I got coverall, I already have agreement with them, don't worry about the Putin, don't worry about Medvedev, don't worry about any of it. And he said, you're gonna see on the internet, it's gonna be the shirt like this. I still have to find that shirt. I have seen the other day that shirt, and you're gonna know it's me. We're gonna work together, and we're gonna help Americans, this and that. we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. When you see the shirt like this, it's gonna be me. And I know this is the fact, because when I drugged up as I was, and I look at him, I'm not a traitor. And I said, "What do you mean? But you said, but you said it's for the Russia, this and that." And he immediately changed his song and he said to me, such a manipulator. He said to me, "Well, and then start to behave like you like Russia all of a sudden." And then he started to move quickly with me and said, "We're gonna go and we're gonna see this and we're gonna go see it. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna teach you this and that." And the next thing you see, they take you out of mind, because I think what they do is they have intravenous drugs, and when when they want you out of the picture, the only thing they do is they increase the amount of drugs that goes inside of your blood into your veins, and you just pass out. That's all that is. That's how that's done. Another thing, very, very conflicting. I just stated that Putin and this and that. Well, here's the deal. Here is the deal. It was Putin who brought him in Miami, and it was Putin who bragged about how he drove, how they drove, how they got him into this Nazi game, how they, by driving into Overtown to areas where black people are and set up with Americans, probably had blacks, I don't know, maybe, I wouldn't say they attacked him, but they probably have, like, he likes to get in conflict, Sergey, so they probably insulted him or something like that, and he got his resentment going, because this man, that's all he needs. He needs his resentment going. This is a bizarre dude, totally bizarre dude, mentally actually unstable. I would say, like my father, that over time he have adjusted himself to civilization, and he now more knows what the world is all about. Bizarre, bizarre dude. And so the next thing you see is Sergey Shoygu changed his ways. It was from the beginning with Hispanics, this and that. He later on changed his ways, that he doesn't like black people and this and that he resents black people, that I will do it. Yes, I see that. We understand this now, I do it, this and that. Then the next time he had me in Moscow, and there was like a area where they would do construction, like a construction site, like a huge construction, I think for the high rise. I remember stand right there and was showing me the workers, how they work there. And he said, you see, I have to do it this way, I have to do it this way, because if I wouldn't do this thing, and then I would be one of them, then I had to work like this. So this is real Sergey Shoygu. I don't know about the Russian people having a dude like this. I would prefer somebody that, you know, sings that patriotic Russian song against the Nazis, fascists. To replace him, you know, a real Russian dude, a real Russian guy that appreciates minorities, Russian minorities as well, and of course, more than anything, is loyal to the Russian history, to his people. Therefore, this would be my choice. I would not go and talk about Shoygu because he's a Russian military general. I have greatly hesitated to talk about Shoygu because, as a matter of fact, because he's non-white, because of these people, because of these American neo-Nazis, I felt that it would be better I keep silent. I feel better I keep quiet about him, that I don't talk about him. It might be, you know, a white dude that is going to replace him, and that is going to be even worse. The thing is that a bunch of things happened under Putin. Putin would just go and he would just replace people. He would just find people other jobs, other locations, get people transferred, people get away. Then gradually, of course, destroyed. People would just disappear then. In different forms, in all kinds of ways, he would have them go. And so that's why I didn't want to talk about this, but, you know, concerning this, what pissed me off is that the other day, my mom came, and, you know, I did work hard to position these cameras properly. I went 15 hours straight to have them positioned. Now, I did have a little advantage over Shoygu, over the local police, because there were in the back in the garage, there were already, you know, tubes, okay, copper tubes. And so I did manage to squeeze those cams on those copper tubes now. But if I wouldn't have that option, and you obviously see I tried to put the nail inside just for the cables, so I could properly, have cables um, installed, properly install them. And it didn't go through because there's a metal shits in there. When you see that kind of stuff, then you don't go into that kind of stuff. Then what you do is you improvise the method, like the one that you have seen I have done over there at the entrance. The Novo Mesto police did not know that, and he did not know how to do it. And they also complained something about how the cameras are big in that. It's just a common sense. It's just the ability to view something that you want to create, and what is it that you want to see, and where you want to position, those kind of things, and you just do it. You do it, and all the stuff they have complained to me about and this and that, none of that I had problem with. It took me 15 hours to position something that's actually they have repositioned for like at least 2, maybe even 3 years, maybe more than that. Maybe more years than that. I don't know how long they were playing with these cameras. Probably, I would say maybe, you know what, maybe because of that stuff, maybe I would say 40 years, between 4 years, some 40 years or something like that. That's how long they were playing with the cameras, and they just didn't know how the hell to do it the proper way. This testimony might be a little bit messed up. It might be a little bit messed up, but you got to understand, if I show you here, I got tremendous amount of news to report. A lot of things happened. I have fallen behind with this one here. I have all kinds of stuff happening here. A little bit got frustrated because cameras already are not functioning. The new cameras are not recording anything. Uh, let's see this thing here. Look at this. It's recorded all along uh, as I have spoken to you guys, and uh, if I go to playback mode, and that's all you get. That's all you ever get. That's it. That's it. So a little bit frustrating like this. I already have spoken about the stuff they have done here. Uh, I didn't say that Mossad. That's why I showed these cameras, because Mossad know all this. If Mossad would not know all this stuff, if they would not know, if other people would not know about this stuff, I wouldn't show any of it. But because they were here, they were in this room, they were in this house, they lived here with our family, because uh, because of all these things, it's a total nonsense for me to hide any of this stuff. They know it all. They know the area. Mossad was based one house away from here. They were in this street with these newcomers. They came that are formed behind our house. And then what they did, they would go across the river, and they would commute with a boat, with a boat right across the river, and it would be like Netanyahu wanted that way because he would not want me being able to associate his team of terrorists with other people here. So he wanted this way, so I wouldn't be able to say they were in this house or that house and so on. But that's exactly what the case was. And another thing was that I understand they actually have planned on coming inside the house through the back of the house, get me out of this room, get me out of the house if necessary, in the boat across the river. So now you don't have the road and stuff like this. And the neighbor here behind, he's got cameras and stuff. They monitor everything. This would be like some kind of a James Bond movie type of hijacking. Later on, what they did is they realized that I know the stuff that it was it was brought to my attention when drugged up, or they would change into another house a little higher, then they would change into another house a little higher along the river. Then I understand they have relocated themselves into onto a house which is right in the intersection. I have posted that stuff on my news site already. Next to the factory, Kirka factory, and I understand there are a few of them that are now, not now, but ever since, they're actually employed in this pharmaceutical company here. So they have suggested me all kinds of, stuff, scenarios, suggesting me that local police surveillance the property, however, that they have a strong connections with the local police and they might be able also to access the data just as police does, and through the connections. It's bullshit. The connections are в державному збору, в entire National Assembly, we don't have the Congress, but I don't know how they say that here. Parliament, they know about this stuff, and they're all more than willing to cooperate, and they all did collaborate with them. The president, current president, was involved in it. He dreamed about the Israel and so on. This is when these people basically come to pick you up. They come with a car and they take you out. They had my mom. They had me here, sleep here, and they have done all kinds of scenarios how I'm gonna barricade myself, and they would like this suggest me they're coming, Americans or Jews, maybe Israelis, I don't know, fluent, well fluent in English. They would have them, and they would have me here drugged up, and you would not even know, but yeah, you will know. You know, you understand. What? This and that. They come to pick you up. They're here. They come and pick you up, and then you hear my mom, and you hear them in an entrance area right here, this area right here, talking with one another. Where here? Where is he? Where is he? We're coming to pick him up. Yeah, but yeah. Well, we're coming to pick him up. It's like an act, We're coming to pick him up. We're just gonna come to pick him up. If he's gonna surrender himself and go with us, we're just gonna shoot him. That's it. We're just gonna shoot him. That's it. Then what they do is they simulate how they get inside, and they point with a gun. You going with us? We're going to Israel. Let's go. Let's go. Pointed revolver gun in me, not on one occasion, but they have simulated me this threat. So I would be just, willing to go with them if they would present me, they'd point the gun in my face, in my head, to go with them and stuff like this. My mommy knew very well about what was going on. The food that I eat, I have never eaten better food than I eat for the last 2 months, because my mommy cooks so damn good. And my mommy cooks so damn good because there's somebody here. Somebody is watching these things, and my mommy likes Sergey Shoygu a lot. So my mommy wants to be seen now in a little bit different light. So the last 2 months I'm getting a really good food. The bulb in her shower area, obviously this is where she goes and shower herself. That's also changed. It's now bright light over there, flashing, and she never ever would allow me to change the light, but now the light is flashing, meaning that she believes that Shoygu, the Russians, are gonna save her from criminal liabilities, which she is due. You see, Sergey, this is why this video, because you're not above the law, she is not above the law, you didn't prove me anything. We're gonna go to the end. We're gonna go to the bitter end. You did not convince me in any way. She didn't convince me in any way. Every time when I place movies like this online, you have people that come in the house and they act. It's like, yeah, it's okay to my father and my mom. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we got all covered. It's okay. To discourage me pursuing, from going forward with it.
In my father's room, just by coincidence, I have found a box like this here. What do you think? It says keys here in Slovenian language. What do you think is in there? I am going to tell you what is in here. There is keys enough here for many people that can use them. And these are the keys from garages, from the main doors. The whole box of the keys is here. And these are not the regular keys. These are keys like this. Special kind of keys you can get in anywhere. Yeah, either in the garage or through the main entrance. And we have another upstairs assortment of keys for us. We have each our own keys, and we have other keys and so on. We got plenty keys, but why do you think that there is a box of keys here? Special set of keys separately. Why do you think this is? I'm gonna tell you why this is. Because they had security people here, and they were coming in and out. They were coming in and out, and they had to have their own keys to get in and out. This is not normal. This is not regular. That you would have so many keys. This kind of special kind of keys like this. And so yes, this is a little command center here that I have created, and this is exactly the same room Shigoi was based in the attic area. However, they had other people. They have, obviously they had KGB and so on. He was here in this room. This room belonged, all this crap that you see right there, that's not mine, that's from my mom. I have never used this room. I never was in this room, but now I am, because I really don't want to be flush with a microwave gun in my body, you know, when I sleep. It makes you really sick. I feel really good down here. Here's what I was gonna say. He was here with a Putin. They had this property. Putin was excited about this property because the property was like a natural for him. It was, according to him, it was already with a fence. My father fenced this property, and so it was totally perfect for him. My father and my mom enjoyed top security here during their stay. They would go down and swim in the river, fish, enjoy. They were quite in love with this place here. I figured out that it was Novo Mesto Police Department who have advised my father to bring down guns. I have noticed his revolver also here. I think that might be a pistol, might not be. Let me see that. He's got a gun here, definitely. He should not have one. This is a violation of the law. And there is another gun right here. So stuff like this is totally illegal. And look at that. The cam is right there. They knew that I will position one. I will explain to you how and why. So they do the shit like this. I don't know, maybe they are video recording the whole thing, so they think that I'm gonna even grab maybe guns and walk around with the guns, or maybe post something crazy on internet or something like that. But stuff like this alone is a severe violation of the law. You cannot just go and just throw guns like this. It's supposed to have these things locked, secured, and so on. He does not care about this anymore. I said anymore because he's got upstairs a special locker to keep them inside.
Ja, zato, ker sem hodil na jago, pa sem mu bolj na rok.
Zato, ker si hodil na jago, imaš dve puške dol,
Ja,
te orožje, vso orožje imaš od spodaj,
ne,
da
ne,
si hodil na
tega
jago.
imam.
Ja, glih v tem je stvar, ker nimaš.
Kako?
Glih v tem je stvar, ker nimaš.
Kaj nimaš?
Ja, nimaš, ne, nimaš gor, ne.
Kako da ne, dve puške imam tle gor.
Dve puške imaš le
Ja,
dol.
ja.
Kakor jaz vem, so dve puške dol.
No pa da,
No, ampak to ni gor ali pa dol.
dve dol pa dve gor.
A pa imaš 4 puške ti. Aha. Koliko časa pa imaš že one puške dol?
Imaš 6-7 let.
6-7 let imaš tiste puške že dol? Jih ne daš noter, jih ne zakleneš.
Jaz bom zdaj podnesel gor.
Ker kakor jaz vem, imaš ti eno posebno omaro za te stvari, ne? Mislim, meni se samo čudno zdi, da so tiste puške že dol pojavile, mislim. Se mi čudno zdi, da jih nimaš zaklenjene, ker imaš posebno omaro za te stvari in jih imaš kar tako od zunaj. Po zakonu mislim, da jih moraš imeti zaščitene, ne? Ja, no. Zakaj?
Kontrola, pa
Kontrola hod, ja, zakaj pa imaš pa tako?
sem mislil, da bom šel jagat, pa sem mu pripravljen dol.
Ne vem, če je to zato. Nič ne vem.
All right, let's put it this way. I went up for haircuts, okay, but now I'm very, very cautious whenever I leave this room because I know that as soon as I'm out of here, other people get in here and they do stuff and so on. They investigate everything, they destroy my equipment, they break my equipment, they damage and computers and absolutely everything they get a hold of. So what I did was I did put some alarms in there, but my mom demanded me to have doors closed up there, so it might have been the case that somebody did go inside the room, or the file itself might have been modified when I did left the room. And so I wasn't sure what to do with it, but this is the resolution is 640 by 480. It says it's just it's 30 frames per second, but look at this here. How is this possible? I do not know. For 29 seconds of recording, file have 30.3 gigabytes. That is the size of the file. Yeah, believe it or not, that is the file right here we're talking about. I'm gonna go right here to the properties. This was actually used for me to point computer camera at the door during my absence. I had those little alarms on, and I hoped that I would get alert and
person, whoever would enter inside, would change his mind about going inside. And when I got back here, this basically is what I have found. I found the file to be 30 gigabytes, and I found the file to have only 29 seconds, and the resolution is very small. It's 640 by 480, which is very, very improbable that Windows would do such thing. That this is brand new Windows 7 Professional, which was installed in fact today on the computer. It's brand new, so that computer would do stuff like this. Actually yesterday was installed. It is very, very improbable thing to me, and so I did the test. I did the test 4 minutes ago, as you see here, to see what exactly 29 seconds of this type of resolution camera, what this is gonna look like. And you can see right here, for 30 seconds, again the same resolution, 640, 480, I got this time instead 516 megabytes only. Okay, so now the question is only one. What exactly was done to this file here? And what exactly is on this file? Why was this file turned into a 29-second file with a size of 30 gigabytes? That is just really, really irregular. And so I do have to report this stuff. Look at this, you see this? Have you ever seen anything like this? No, I did not. If 29 seconds of this kind of resolution would take 29 gigabytes, which in this case it did, probably our computers would have to have about 10 terabytes to record, movies and stuff like this, the way we record and stuff like this. Have never seen anything like this. 30.3 gigabytes. Hey, if anyone out there knows how to open this thing to find out what's really hiding on this movie, please let me know. Get with me, get together with me. Let me know how to do it so I can learn. I can do that too. I don't know how this was done. It is as if somebody would somehow change, modify. I was absent from here, I would say about 20 minutes or something like that, 30 minutes maybe even. But boy, that, I would get stuff like this in my lifetime, that I would see something like this. I would not even dream all these things that are happening to me. Look, as you know, Vladimir Putin is a lawyer, attorney, by profession. This individual is manipulator. I don't know, in this case, we don't deal anymore with human rights. We are dealing here with a case against American citizen that crossed borders of normal in like 100 different aspects. You're talking about 11 years of nothing else than hardcore abuse, like nothing else than violating everything that can be violating in the life of an individual, and taking this individual into totally extreme situations. It started with the idea to bring together the politicians, to lure the politicians in this case, through which neo-Nazism would spread. This is how it was explained. In reality, a bunch of politicians that got involved in this case already were lackeys, they were slaves, they were supporters, servants of the neo-Nazis already before they even got involved in this case. All they needed was me. Basically, what neo-Nazis have used as an invitation to get involved in the neo-Nazism, like, officially, like get some kind of pretext to get involved, excuse to get involved in this, okay? And the further we went this case, it was nothing else than violation, violation in every aspect. They had to find some kind of way out of this, something that would, number one, apologize them, the wrongdoings against me. Basically, Americans have never performed anything like this on any American citizen. Yes, I am Eastern European Union. I am Eastern European citizen. I am Eastern European. I'm not Aryan European. But I do have a citizenship, and in the United States, never anything like this, anything alike was done to any individual. And so the further you went, the more the Americans wanted to somehow get excuse, some kind of, again, pretext for the stuff that was done to me that would actually somehow benefit me. They wanted to portray this case, you know, in a way that it was, you know, it would be like some kind of a happy ending, you know, and after all, he became something, or he obtained some kind of state position, preferably would be, of course, on the other side of the curtain, and the side of Russia. Therefore, that's just, it's got to be done according to Americans this way, so they can, I don't know, suggest that I was a spy, I was, you know, that I had something against the U.S. or something like that, since there were no crimes or anything that could prove that I was involved in any kind of collusion against the United States or anything like this. So they just wanted to twist events, and then you have people like attorneys, lawyers like Putin that consider Americans as a partners. You can hear him many times saying, "Наши американские партнеры," our American friends, and they are in bed with one another. They do perform for Americans in Russia what otherwise in Soviet Union would be not even considered. And they have Americans perform for Russians in the United States the stuff that under normal circumstances never ever they would even think about, consider doing any stuff like this, you know. And then you have politicians that, you know, like John McCain, Bush, fascists, neo-Nazis, Biden, Clinton, they're all fascists, neo-Nazis, they're all fascists. Presidents, vice presidents, and here throughout Europe, prime ministers, presidents, and so on that have, it's totally unprecedented, the stuff. Look, they have gotten also themselves into to me. None of them ever counted that I could possibly go as far as this and explain to the world, depict to the world what they have done to me. Okay, so somehow, some way, it's American side that needed them more and more toward the end of this to find some kind of excuse, something that would apologize all this stuff, which they're not successful in obtaining any of that stuff. I'm not giving them I'm not going to give them any credibility for the stuff they have done. Look, they literally have suggested me the bullshit writers, the resume writers, the bullshitters, the criminals, the U.S. government criminals that also have helped Russians. You know, the idea was even, you know, they told me, "Are you ever going to, how am I going to live? Where am I going to get some kind of money, this and that? You know, don't worry about any of this. If you're going to do all this stuff, what's going to happen is you're going to get to sleep next to the Lenin." Next to the Lenin. Lenin's in Mausoleum and stuff like this. Regarding the radiation, you're going to live, I don't know, 20 years less than what otherwise you would. You're going to have cancer, you're going to have this. But this is not a problem because, you know, nothing is really a problem for the state people that, you know, write resumes for certain people, and then what they do is they basically, both systems, an American and Russian, can depict that individual as somebody as successful, that he brought some kind of prosperity, some kind of fortune to the nation. But in this case, this would be just a scenario that will be used just to apologize, excuse, like, you know, the dirty shit they have done to American citizen, basically, to somebody like me. This is beyond disgusting case. And, you know, that's why all this stuff, what I'm saying to the people that know about this case, that have wondered about what stuff to do, what not to do. If you're politicians, step on a stage, don't be afraid. They did lost the World War II, and they are afraid to go forward. Any kind of sign, any kind of news like this that comes out, that is unexpected news, that is the news that that goes against their agenda. Any individual that steps on a political stage and condemns basically what is taking place, what is happening, it's a pain in their ass, it's a pain in their butt, because people are not willing to go along with it. People in Russia, I don't think they will ever accept some kind of a Nazism, fascism. It's going to be hard to convince people in Eastern Europe, whether it is Poland, whether it is, you know, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Slovenia, and Serbia, and so on. It's going to be very tough to convince anybody into it. And then you have India, and you have China. The Chinese leadership, for the president, I believe that he is a collaborator with them, just like the Russians are, Russian elites are. But you know, the people should have the power. So if you're a politician, and even if you're from non-white countries, if you have control over your mainstream media and stuff like this, if you report this news like this, if you condemn the stuff like this, you know, you have no idea how hard you actually hit them when you start to reveal about, when you start to talk about, when the people start to spread amongst one another about what is taking place. This makes their plans just, I'm gonna say, totally impossible. They lost the World War II, and they're gonna lose the World War III again, because the people are not gonna allow these elites that caused the World War II, you know, to repeat once again the catastrophe of the World War II with the World War III. In World War III, it's going to be way worse. This is where we're not going to even make it as a humanity. So if you are out there, you're a politician, don't be afraid. I mean, get out on stage. People will follow you. I know they will follow you. People know, they feel, they sense that something is going on, that something is wrong. They don't have really anybody, any public person, somebody that would go up there, that would step on a stage, you know, and start to point fingers at them and talk about really what is taking place. They're cowards. They're just top politicians is what they are. In Russia, I estimate it's just a top KGB like this. I estimate it's top, probably military people is what they are. You have, this is what Putin and Medvedev have managed to produce. I believe they have greatly reduced, decimated the decent people into obedient slaves that follow their every step, that, you know, whatever they are ordered to do, they just blindly follow that. And the mainstream media, the Russian media also behaves that way. I see that stuff. But you know, the people, that's a different story. When you're going to tell the people that this is the way it is now, I don't know how the people are going to see it. Are people going to see it your way, or people going to say, hey, you know, I believe in Russia, it's going to be a big debate. It's not going to be so easy. It's a country with a strong tradition, freedom tradition, where workers, people, were respected, like in China. And it's not just going to be, you know, it's not going to just change across the night. You're going to have a politician who's going to say, no, we're going to go and we're going to do, you know, we're going to do the, I don't know, a cleansing, a genocide against somebody, this and that. I don't think that's going to happen. Definitely never ever you're going to see me on their side. So if you are one of those people, just don't be afraid. It's your duty, it's your job. Step up and show them how you feel about it. According to Sergey Shoygu, he himself is very insecure about how this stuff can end. It's a bunch of cowards, really. All they need is politicians that will be, you know, that are not, they're insecure, that's, and you know, they're followers, they're servants, so they will obey, and quiet people, people who will just go along like they don't know like what is happening. In the U.S., right now I read the news in California, the homelessness have increased thanks to Donald Trump for about 20%. So Donald Trump is killing American people with forced unemployment. He's killing them. He targets people that are that want to resist this type of tyranny. In Great Britain, looks like I already have suggested Brexit never is going to go through. They're going to merge right back in. It was just used to cleanse Great Britain for the sake of the fascism, Nazism. Uh, so stand up, you can stand up now. A little bit more about Shoygu. According to Federica Mogherini and Merkel and Macron and all these fascists, neo-Nazis, Buckingham Palace, I would also be given to Ksenia Shoygu as a reward for Shoygu's performance of genocide on behalf of the Western elites. And according to the Arnold Schwarzenegger, who have impregnated the Latin lady from South America, this is the right thing to do for me. And that's how the white power, we're going to rule. He's going to have, through his son, he's going to rule South America, Latin America, Central America, and through me we're going to rule through the Russia, white power, and so on. It's a bunch of lunatics, really is how I see it, and time to act against them is now, today. Thanks for watching this video. Take care of yourself, my friends. Till next time.